Hey guys, it's Casey, and I thought a lot about what I wanted to do for my video today, and I wasn't having any ideas whatsoever, and then BAM! All of a sudden I got hiccups. Now everyone knows that hiccups suck, and they come out of nowhere, right? Often at like the worst possible times, and there's so many ridiculous cures for hiccups that I figured I'd just do a video about that. Sometimes my hiccups last for hours, and I end up trying dozens of these so-called cures until I find something that works. The one you'll hear most about is to get someone to scare you. But if you're alone, how are you supposed to do that, right? That can be tricky. So I suggest going online and finding one of those videos where something pops out at you really suddenly and try to scare yourself. I've never done it, but I figure it must have the same effect, right? The next one's a pretty sweet cure, but it can be gross for some people. Overloading your taste buds with sweet or sour can supposedly cure hiccups. So like taking a spoonful of sugar and putting it on the back of your tongue where the sour receptors are is supposed to help. Or like gargling with honey, which doesn't sound all that pleasant, but that's what most people do when they have hiccups. Hiccups are caused by an irritated vagus nerve, which runs from your brain all the way down to your abdomen and causes your diaphragm to spasm, which is what the hiccup really is. It's a spasm. A branch of the vagus nerve runs through your ear canal, so putting your fingers in your ears and wiggling them around can stimulate those nerve endings and has been known to cure hiccups. There's several old wives' tales about drinking water in various ways to cure hiccups. Some say just drinking anything will do it, and some say it has to be water, or some say it has to be warm, or some say to put a paper towel over the glass and then drink through it, or stand on your head and drink upwards, which is ridiculous. Drinking may interrupt the pattern of your hiccups, though, and for some people that's enough to cure them. Another cure is to pull on your tongue. I've never actually heard of any of this working for anyone, but it's supposed to interrupt the vagus nerve in the same way that stimulating your ear canal is, and I suppose it makes sense. Various breathing techniques, from holding your breath to hyperventilating into a bag, or doing various breathing exercises, have been suggested time and again. What they do is they change your carbon dioxide level, like in your blood, and it can cause your body's reflexes to divert themselves into righting that imbalance, which can stop the spasming diaphragm, because if your body's too overwhelmed with trying to make sure you don't die, it's not going to really worry about making your diaphragm spasm because the vagus nerve is irritated, which I suppose works for some people, but not for everyone. The swallowing method, where you inhale and then swallow, and then inhale and then swallow, and so on and so forth, and for as many times as you can without exhaling, has worked for me before, but it can cause some lightheadedness and discomfort, and it can make your chest hurt for a while afterwards, and just, it's a last resort for me. There are some pretty ridiculous cures too, from eating hot sauce to rectal massage. Ew! But most of these are unproven and entirely unfounded. If you want to go ahead and try some of the less gross cures that you find on the internet the next time you have hiccups, just remember that what works for one person doesn't always work for another person. My sister can hold a doorknob and stare at and count to 20, and apparently that cures her hiccups, but I've tried it and it doesn't work for me. Find out what works for you and then you try that first next time. Sometimes a string of cures that become more ridiculous as you go and you try them is just a good way to pass the time until your hiccups go away on their own. And they will go away on their own. I mean, it's just an irritation, usually from eating too fast or swallowing air while you're eating, or indigestion. But the hiccups will go away, as long as you're not Charles Osborne, who had the hiccups continuously for 68 years. That's 430 million hiccups! Yikes.